Before kingdoms rose, before mighty empires filled the earth, there was a question that echoed through heaven itself. Can a human being remain faithful to God, even after losing everything? This is not simply the story of suffering. It is the story of courage, the story of endurance, the story of a man whose faith would be tested beyond imagination. His name was Job, and his story would become one of the greatest lessons of faith ever told. Long ago, far beyond the bustling cities of ancient kingdoms, there was a peaceful land called Uz. Rolling green hills stretched toward the horizon. Shepherds guided their flocks across open valleys. Golden sunlight warmed fertile fields. And in the heart of this beautiful land stood the home of the wealthiest man in the region. His name was Job. Yet people did not admire him because he was rich. They admired him because he was righteous, or Job possessed thousands of sheep, hundreds of camels, strong oxen, healthy donkeys, and countless servants. His wealth was beyond imagination. But every morning, before the sun painted the sky with gold, Job knelt in prayer. He thanked God. He praised God. And he placed every blessing into God's hands. His greatest treasure was never his fortune. It was his faith. Job loved his family with all his heart. He was blessed with 7 sons and 3 daughters. Their home overflowed with laughter. The children often gathered together for joyful feasts. Music echoed through the halls. Friends filled the tables, and happiness surrounded the family. Yet after every celebration, Job quietly offered sacrifices to God. Perhaps, he thought, one of my children has unknowingly sinned. So he prayed for every one of them, a father's love, expressed through faithful prayer. While peace filled the earth, something extraordinary was happening beyond human sight. Far above the clouds, beyond the stars, the heavenly court gathered before the throne of God. Angels stood in radiant light. Their voices filled heaven with worship. And among them came one who had chosen darkness, Ladan, the accuser. He had wandered across the earth, searching, watching, waiting. The Lord spoke, "Where have you come from?" The accuser answered, "From roaming throughout the earth." Then came a question that would change history forever. "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on earth. He is faithful. He fears God, and he turns away from evil." Heaven itself recognized the faithfulness of one ordinary man, but Satan laughed. "Of course, Job worships you. You have blessed everything he owns. You have protected his family. You have surrounded him with wealth. Take it all away, and he will curse you to your face." Silence filled heaven. Then God answered, "Very well. Everything he owns is in your power, but do not touch the man himself." The test had begun on earth. Job knew nothing of the conversation in heaven. He continued his daily life. His shepherds tended the flocks. Servants worked the fields. Children laughed together. The morning breeze carried songs across the valley. Everything appeared perfect, but unseen. The storm was already coming. Sometimes, the greatest battles begin long before we can see them. By the end of this day, everything Job had built, everything he loved, everything he treasured, would be gone. Not because God had abandoned him, but because heaven was about to reveal a truth that would inspire generations for thousands of years. The greatest test of faith was only beginning. The morning began like any other. The sun rose over the hills of Uz. Shepherds led their flocks across the fields. Servants tended the oxen. Life seemed peaceful. Then, a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon. A man ran with all his strength. His clothes were torn. His face was covered in dirt. His breath was heavy. He fell before Job. "My lord, the Sabeans attacked us. They stole the oxen and donkeys. They killed the servants. I am the only one who escaped." Job stood in silence. He had no words. Before he could answer, another messenger came running. The second servant collapsed to his knees. "My master." Fire fell from the sky. It consumed the sheep. It burned the shepherds. Everything is gone. I alone escaped. Job's heart grew heavier. The wealth of many years was disappearing within moments. Yet the worst news had not yet arrived. Before silence could settle, a third messenger appeared. The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties. They stole every camel. They struck down your servants. I alone escaped. 3 disasters, one after another, like relentless waves crashing against the shore. Job remained standing. His face revealed pain, but not panic. His heart was breaking, yet his faith remained unshaken. Then, the final messenger came. He could barely speak, his eyes filled with tears. My lord, your sons and daughters, they were gathered together, eating and celebrating. In your eldest son's house, a mighty wind came from the wilderness. It struck the house. The walls collapsed. There were no survivors. Silence. The world seemed to stop. Every sound faded. The father who had prayed daily for his children now stood alone. No parent is prepared for such pain. Job slowly tore his robe. He shaved his head. He fell upon the ground. Those watching expected anger. They expected curses. Instead, Job worshipped. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Even heaven paused, as one broken man chose worship instead of bitterness. Far above the earth, the heavenly court gathered once more. God spoke. Have you considered my servant Job? He still remains faithful. Although everything had been taken from him, his trust had not been broken. But Satan answered again. A man will give everything. To save his own life, strike his body, and he will curse you. God replied, you may touch his body, but spare his life. The second trial had begun soon. Pain covered Job's body. Painful sores appeared, from the top of his head to the soles of his feet. Every step became agony. Every breath reminded him of suffering. The once respected leader now sat outside the city, among ashes, holding a broken piece of pottery to scrape his wounds. The richest man in Uz had become the poorest. Job's wife looked upon him. She remembered their children, their joyful home, their peaceful life. Everything had vanished. Her grief became despair. She whispered, are you still holding on to your faith? Curse God and die. Job lifted his weary eyes. You speak from sorrow. Shall we accept good from God and never accept hardship? His voice was weak, but his faith remained stronger than ever. Far away, 3 old friends heard about Job's suffering. Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar. They traveled across deserts and mountains to comfort him. But when they finally saw him, they stopped. Could this broken man really be Job? They began to weep. They tore their robes. They sprinkled dust upon their heads. For 7 days, no one spoke. Sometimes, silence carries more compassion than words ever can. After 7 long days, Job finally spoke, not with anger, not against God, but from the deepest place of grief. Why was I born? Why was I given life? Only to know such sorrow. His voice echoed across the empty wilderness. His questions rose toward heaven, but heaven remained silent. Sometimes, faith does not erase our questions. Faith gives us strength to keep asking them soon. The silence would end. Job's closest friends would begin to speak. Instead of comfort, they would bring accusations. Instead of hope, they would deepen his pain. But beyond every human voice, another voice was preparing to speak. And when God answered from the whirlwind, history would never be the same. 7 days of silence had passed. Now, words filled the air. Job's friend Eliphaz spoke first. Job, no innocent man suffers without a reason. Think carefully. Surely you have hidden some secret sin. Then Bildad agreed. God is always just. If this tragedy has come upon you, you must deserve it. Finally, Zophar spoke with even harsher words. If God punished you fully, it would be far worse than this. Their words pierced deeper than any wound upon Job's body. The pain of betrayal often hurts more than physical suffering. Job listened quietly. Then he lifted his eyes toward heaven. I know I'm not perfect, but I haven't committed the evil you accuse me of. If only I could stand before God. If only I could ask him why. His questions echoed across the wilderness. Still, the heavens remained silent. Yet even in silence, God was listening. Among the listeners stood a younger man. His name was Elihu. Until now, he had remained silent. Finally, he stepped forward. "You have all spoken without understanding." Turning to Job, he said, "God is greater than human wisdom. There are mysteries no man can fully understand." Then he faced the three friends. "You have judged Job without knowing the truth." His words prepared everyone's heart. For the greatest moment of all, without warning, the wind began to rise. Dark clouds rolled across the sky. Thunder echoed through the mountains. The earth trembled. A mighty whirlwind descended. Every eye turned toward the storm. Then, from the whirlwind, the voice of God spoke. Job bowed low. His heart overflowed with awe. "I spoke about things I did not fully understand. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." In that moment, Job received something greater than answers. He experienced the presence of God. Sometimes, God's presence becomes the answer, even when every question remains. Then the Lord turned to Job's three friends. "My anger burns against you. You have not spoken truthfully about me, as my servant Job has." God instructed them to bring sacrifices. Then he said, "Ask Job to pray for you." The very man they had judged would now become the one who prayed for their forgiveness. Job did not refuse. He prayed. He forgave. Mercy triumphed over bitterness. As Job prayed, the season of suffering ended. His strength returned. His wounds disappeared. Friends and relatives came once again, this time not with accusations, but with comfort. God blessed Job beyond imagination. His flocks doubled. His herds multiplied. His home filled with joy once more. The Lord blessed the latter years of Job. Even more than the first, God blessed Job with sons and daughters once again. Laughter returned to his home. Peace replaced sorrow. Hope overcame despair. Job lived many long years. He watched his children and his grandchildren grow. His scars remained, but they no longer spoke of defeat. They became reminders of faith that had endured the greatest storm. The story of Job is not about a man who never cried. He did. It is not about a man who never questioned God. He did. It is about a man who refused to let go of his faith. Even when life made no sense, even when heaven seemed silent, even when everything was taken away, Job teaches us that suffering is not always punishment, that God's plans are greater than our understanding, and that faith shines brightest in the darkest night. Thousands of years have passed. Empires have risen and fallen, but the story of Job still speaks to every broken heart, to every grieving family, to everyone asking, why? And its answer echoes across time. Trust God, even when you cannot see the ending, because the author of your story already can. If Job's story inspired you, remember this: faith isn't proven when life is easy. It's revealed when you choose to trust God through every storm. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful biblical stories that bring Scripture to life. Until next time, may God bless you and strengthen your faith.